Spirituality and masculinity, for that matter, are an act of rebellion. You're governed by God's laws, natural law, universal law. You can see all the domination control in this world, and you say, no, you need a spine for this, you need your balls for this, but it should make you rebellious. You should get juiced up for like, yes, this is me on my own path. I need to play the game to some degree, but I will call things as I see it. And this is where conscious women are far more rebellious than the men within that sphere. A lot of these women, like, they've gone to darker places. They're aware of their edges, and they still want a bad boy. They still want a boss, but they want a boss who is on an evolution of consciousness. And this is why spiritual men are getting destroyed in relationships. They've lost their edge, their spark, their pizzazz. And it's so funny that in that spiritual scene, it's like, well, the personality is a construct and nothing is real and it's all an illusion. It's like, bruv, when you start operating from the void and a freedom in your consciousness, your personality, your charisma, your charm, your spice, your flirt is just a whole nother level because you're free. Look at all the mystics. They're funny. They laugh. They're deep. They can be serious, but they're playful. And for some reasons I speak about, this passiveness in the spiritual men, thinking that their instincts or those things that flare up are ego, is damaging them. The conscious women sphere just shows that perfectly, how there's so many single and they've dated the spiritual types only to dump them because they don't feel the spark. This leads the women into a pendulum swing with getting with a normal guy because he's got balls and he's in the earth and he's doing his thing, but he can't hold her on the consciousness level. As a man who can do both, this is what they require. And it doesn't mean you're required to be enlightened and to have the most biggest mission in the world. You just need bits of it. You just need to own yourself, that you're comfortable in all realms. When a woman pokes, she pokes and feels my strength because I don't have this one part of me that is so not nourished, because a feminine will find that. The freedom of consciousness and speaking from the void will create a beautiful character that you are. And it's not a facade. It's not your ego shield that you wear. You're just operating from the truth of who you are. And when you do that with a conscious woman who isn't traumatized by masculine energy, she feels it in her body and it lights her up. Unfortunately, masculine dudes are maybe, I don't know, they're thinking too much as ego. I mean, spiritual dudes, they're trying to breathe away their masculine instincts. They might carry shame around their lower kingdom and they're not speaking with penetration. Because when you do clean out the lower kingdom and you're comfortable in who you are, the way you speak is penetrative. As the masculine, you are penetrative, and the receiving feminine feels that as light or truth. If you can access it, they become a mirror for that truth. If you're talking shit or you're talking from ego, she won't like it. But when you're speaking this direct truth about all of the deep shit that you philosophize from all of your experience, it's like, yeah, that's cool. And it's the rebellious nature that you're a man on his path, carving out his own reality from that unique experience, that they're like, this guy's interesting. He's not like all the other dudes in that scene who are actually in the scene to try get women, but in the process of trying to get women, they're doing what the women are doing and becoming feminized in the process. And this is why there's such an imbalance. Spirituality is rebellious. Masculinity is rebellious. Do you still have that spark in you? Do you have your team boy? Do you have your flirt? Do you have your edges? Or are you trying to create some sort of holy persona that is pacified? When you start operating from the truth of who you are in this moment, you lose the care of what other people think, because the reflection you get from the universe is that this is you. And the people you start to meet are of a way higher level, and the way you interact with them is from a place of freedom. And even normies can feel this as well, the good ones who can just feel the authenticity. The authenticity is what Men, women, as humans want. We want this authenticity. We don't want a holier than art thou person who is breathing away or suppressing different parts of themselves. When you step back into that energy that you once had, which is underneath the pacified version of spirituality, this is where you find your path. This is where you ground it back down. And if you're wanting to dance in the world of women, they're there waiting, but you need your edges. Where a man who just sits as he is and owns who he is, that's magnetic. All the mystics have a magnetic aura. They have something about them that feels free. This is what you can do when you drop the spiritual conditioning and the dogma that you've taken on, which are putting you into some sort of pacified version of yourself. This is possibly an inevitable stage of the journey, which the men I work with, myself, and nearly every man on the path has gone through. But there is another side of this where you take your power back. And this is where it gets good.